Hey everybody, it's Christy from Tales of the Ravenous Reader, and I just finished hosting my family's holiday party for the first time ever. My grandma this year is just a little too sick to host, so I offered to host this year, and it was super fun, it was super great, it was super chill, which was pretty great because Christmas can be very stressful, and it's great because it's before Christmas, and so my husband and I are able to spend our Christmas together. So I hope all of your Christmases are wonderful. I can't remember what day this video is going up, but it's either right before or right after Christmas, so I hope everybody has an amazing Christmas. I'm here today to talk about my top 10 most anticipated reads for 2017, and a few days ago, Nancy was texting me at like 5 in the morning, answering a text I had sent her the night before, and she was like, "So what are your most anticipated reads?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Like, that's 2017. It's like so far away. It's like 2 weeks away." So I'm like, let me go consult Goodreads because I keep all my lists there. And then unfortunately for her, at 5 o'clock in the morning, she got a barrage of texts of all the books I'm excited to read. So even though there are probably over 50 books on that list, I've narrowed it down to 10 that I'm super excited for. And unfortunately, or fortunately, most of them are actually part of series, which is hilarious because if you know me, I'm like, ugh, series. I have like series fatigue, but I read a lot of really great either series starters this year or last year. And I'm super excited for what's coming next. So I have a list, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the books I'm excited for. So first on my list for 2017 is Umberland by Wendy Spinelli, which is book 2 in the Everland series, which is a Peter Pan retelling, and it is phenomenal. If you haven't read it yet, it is steampunk and gorgeous, slightly dark. I really enjoyed that book. She's local to us. I just absolutely adore her. I love how into her book she is, and I just love the book itself. And so I'm really excited because she's exploring other fairy tale retellings in this one. So I'm really thrilled and excited to see how it goes. And it's got a gorgeous cover, which I'll put like somewhere here for you guys to see. And I know for sure it's going to be even more gorgeous in real life because it will be super shiny and magical. So I'm really excited for that book. Book number 2 on my list is Midnight Jewel by Rochelle Mead, which is the second in her Glittering Court series. This is a series after my own heart because it's a series, but standalones within the series, and you don't have had to read the other books, or at least I assume you won't have to have read the other books in it. Basically, there are, I believe, 3 books in this series, and hello Kitty. Sorry, Kitty wants to say hi. There are 3 books in this series, and they all revolve around different characters that are off screen during the main part of the story that's actually being told. So there were 3 kind of characters that were central to the Glittering Court, and 2 of them are kind of off screen for most of the book, so we get to explore some of those, and I'm really excited because I love standalones in a series, and I love Rochelle Mead, and so I'm really excited to read the second one. Plus it has a gorgeous cover, of course. Book number 3 on my list is Goodbye Days by Jeff Sittner. I just read The Serpent King, and I sobbed like a lot. I was reading the very end of it as I was coming home from work, and I'm like, I'm driving. It's one of those books that you're driving and you're like, what just happened? Like, it's super great. The audio on Serpent King is super great. But we're not here to talk about Serpent King. We're here to talk about Goodbye Days, which I'm really excited for. It is sure to be gorgeous because Jeff Sittner is amazing and his writing is amazing, and I'm really super thrilled to read it. So I'm really excited for that one. The next book in the books I'm excited for is a book that doesn't yet have a title. It's book 3 in the Illuminae Files series by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and I already know that there's probably not going to be arcs for this, so I'm kicking myself for reading this book 2 so early because it's so far until the last book, but I'm super excited to see how all of it comes together and get the resolution to the story. And of course, Illuminae was my favorite book of last year, and Gemini was pretty high up on the books I love for this year, and so I'm really excited to see how this series ends. That's the next book on my series. The next book is, okay, so I love Marie Lu. I love her as a person. I love her books. And so I'm really, really, really excited to see her take on Batman. Because if anybody can take broody teenage Batman and turn it into something amazing, it's going to be Marie Lu. And I'm super stoked for her to write him, because just hearing her talk about him, about how she's writing him at her event for the Midnight Star, I was like, I need this book in my hands right now. Like, give it to me right now. So I'm really excited to see where she takes him. And sneaking in the back end, I'm also really excited for more crafts by her. So even though, yeah, I'm more excited for Batman. Next book on my series is a book I have had in my possession for at least 6 months now, but I'm putting it off because I want to read it right before the launch, which is Careful by Stephanie Garber. She is so super sweet. She's local for us, of course, and her launch is at the end of January, and I'm just waiting. I can't decide whether I'm going to try and read it over audio or if I'm going to actually read the book. I have it, I've had it, and I just want to savor it. So I haven't read it yet. So it's definitely one of my most anticipated, because it's a book that's just been sitting for a while, and everybody has nothing but good things to say about it. I've not seen a poor review of it yet, which means it's sure to be freaking amazing. So I'm really excited for that one. Next book on my series is book 2 in a duology for a series of books that I was really super skeptical about, because I feel like, even though dystopian is one of my absolute favorite genres, it's kind of like over almost. Like, there hasn't been a lot of really good dystopian novels that have come out. But one of my favorite books from last year was Flawed by Cecilia Ahern. I absolutely love that book, and I can't wait for Perfect, which is the second book in the series. And it's a duology, so we get resolution, which I'm really excited for. And it's not a long book. It's, you know, it's going to be really great, and I'm really excited actually to see what it looks like. I've seen the cover, but I'm really excited to see what it looks like as a finished copy, because last year's copy, the cover of it was so beautiful with the overlay on it. So that's going to be really good. I think it'll be really great. Next on my list is actually, I think it's a debut, and I'm really thrilled for it. It is Spindlefire by Alexa Hillier. Sleeping Beauty is my favorite princess. Like, if we all have to have a favorite princess, she's my favorite. I love her story. I'm definitely Team Pink. Make it pink. So I'm thrilled that there's a book coming out that's kind of her, that it's a retelling, or at least a telling around Sleeping Beauty. So I'm thrilled to read that one this spring. The next book on my list is a series I've actually been reading pretty fluidly. There's a lot of books in this series. It's The Adjustment by Suzanne Young. It's book 3 in the first set of books that she wrote. So she wrote a set of books, and then she wrote kind of like a prequel series. You don't have had to read the other series, so I've read the prequels in the same way. You don't have to read the first series to read the prequel series. They just really kind of don't tie together necessarily, do, but they don't. So The Adjustment, which is actually a surprise, I thought she was done writing. I'm really thrilled. And also the entire series is getting recovered, so that'll be really fun. Although I know I haven't been collecting them. I have e-copies. I haven't been collecting them physically, so I'm sure for all the people out there that have them, they're not super thrilled that they're getting recovered. Second to last, but certainly not on my list, is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This book looks like it's going to be so much fun. The title itself is super great. It reminds me of a Fall Out Boy or Panic at the Disco song, because it's long and just super flamboyant and fun. So I'm really excited to see what takes place in this book. So thrilled for that one. And last on my list, which is probably my top most anticipated book for 2017, is Vanguard by Anne Aguirre. And if you have never heard of the Enclave series, I highly recommend you take a look at it. I read it from start to finish when it first came out many years ago. I was obsessed with it. I would literally read anything within that series, and I know it's tough to come back to a series after it's been a while since it's published. I definitely read a series, another book in a series from last year that came much later, a series I loved, and it was awful. The book was awful, and so I'm cautiously optimistic that Vanguard is going to be great. I could not get enough of that world. It's one of those, I have very, very few series that I'm like, oh my god, I need more books in this series, because I'm not a series reader. This is one of those series that I'm like, I definitely need it right now. So I'm like hunting arcs like you wouldn't believe it. And I am okay if I don't get one, but if I had to say like top most anticipated arc for 2017, this is the book. So I'm super, super thrilled about it, and I can't wait for it. I'm also really thrilled to hear about what all of you want to read for 2017, because my list has actually got super populated, especially I think I have like nothing after the summer. And so if you know books that are coming out in the fall and in the winter that I need to be reading, anything contemporary, anything sci-fi, dystopian, basically anything that's not heavy fantasy, you need to send those recs my way, because I need to populate my list so that I can start thinking about how to plan. If you don't know, I plan out my reading, so I know exactly what's coming next, so I can like hype myself up basically. So if you know books I need to be reading, send them my way. I'm super excited to hear what you might want to be reading next year, and I hope you all have a really great new year, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, bye!